If I could do anything at all, I'd do it for you. If I could wait, I'd write a book for you. Tale of hidden treasures where I owe you. A million words wouldn't say the won't be said. Words where love is true. If I could do anything at all, I'd do it for you. How can't you see what you mean to me? Anything I can do, I'll do. Darling, don't you know just how I know? Anything I can do, I'll do for you. Sometimes I feel so separate. Please love you and my grace. Say, I know I'm strong, and I know he's strong, but I wish I could give you more. And if I could I'd lay my soul for you. Ready to feel the passion that you never knew. If it's a sound, if it's touch your heart, and make it fall over, I could be the star. If I could do anything, Lord, I'd give you more. If I could do anything, Lord, I'd do it for you.
Hey, everyone. Who's the band, Francesca? That's 1927. Hi. I'm not as glamorous as they are. That's 1927. It's a song that, for some reason, even though it's not really like a patriotic song or anything, makes me feel very Australian. They're an Aussie band. But it's also my go-to when I feel helpless and, you know, you do anything for someone, but you just feel like you can't. And that's the sort of feeling I've got at the moment watching all the flooding going on in Queensland and New South Wales and more storms on the way. It's just, it's a horrible feeling. It's always a horrible feeling. I mean, we've been watching the world with COVID for the last few years. And the destruction that's caused. We're looking at what's going on in the Ukraine at the moment. And then here in Australia, we've got hideous floods again when so many people were literally just starting to get back on top of the last lot of floods. So I thought I'd just go live and give us all a place to hang out and chat about it and how we're all feeling. You think of your dad when you hear it. Yeah, a friend of mine played it at her dad's funeral. But I've also been to a wedding overseas where it was played as the bridal waltz. And nobody knew it except for me, and I was belting it out. Yeah, 1927, they were sort of like 80s, 90s. Funny enough, bought a couple of tickets to see them in Hobart last year, and it got cancelled because of COVID. But it's apparently happening again this year. And the girl that I'm going to see them with, the girl I bought the ticket for, has got COVID at the moment, weirdly. And she's not doing very well. So lots of love out to my beautiful friend Kim. But yeah, I thought I'd just go live because it's kind of good to have a place to just talk about this, because we're all feeling helpless, and some of you guys are even in the middle of it all. Hey Joey, how are you doing? I was listening to some news tonight about the Hunter Valley. Just wondering how you're doing. Gorgeous. Hey Veruca, salty salt. Yeah, very much a flashback. I read that actually before I went live, Francesca, and I mean, the footage and photos out of Lismore and houses just completely underwater. It's just absolutely horrific. And how are you doing, Tamara? You're just up near Brisbane at the moment. It's nice to see you too, Francesca. It's nice to see everybody. Yeah, they were talking about how it's heading to the Hunter Valley, and I was also listening to a guy in Ballina, and they've never had floods before, so they don't know what to do, but they're completely cut off, and they haven't got food, like a lot of food supplies, and hopefully there's a lot of flood relief getting into their area quickly because it's sounding pretty bad. Hey, where's Kenny? Slides in. Good to see you, Groover. Hi, Vivian. Thank you so much, Vivian. One of the things I do love about YouTube is, you know, we are a global community, and I love how we all care for each other all over the world, whatever's going on. It's pretty amazing. And I think COVID brought a lot of people together that previously hadn't been in any sort of online communities or chatting with people around the world much. So, you know, it was one of the silver linings. You flooded on Sunday, tomorrow. How are you guys doing? And that's another thing that a lot of people in Queensland have been able to get into their properties, and they're starting to put things out on the streets to be taken away. And councils are doing pickups, but a lot of the tip sites are closed because they've flooded as well. But also they're saying with more bad weather on the way to just leave it for the moment, because your shit's going to just end up all over the place. It's just awful. We have this going on here, and the big boys want to play with guns. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the things that also, the whole 1927 song, it's very deep for me for like so many different reasons. But another reason, I mean, it just inspires, it makes me feel very Australian for some reason, but it is a song I play when people I care about, I can't help, but also people I don't even know, I can't help. And I just wish YouTube, you know, the communities we all originally sort of met in, or many of us, there's just so much shit going on in the world right now. I think just turning on the go live button and letting everyone talk about things is what we should be doing right now. Because this is the stuff that matters. This is real life shit. Yeah, it's hideous, isn't it, Aussie Trisha? And so many places that literally have just recovered from the floods last year, and now they're going through it again. Like, you can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I've never been involved in a flood, touch wood. My house might start, my computer might wobble a little bit in a minute. It's not an earthquake. I've got a load of washing on. It makes the house shake when there's a spin cycle happening because I'm on stilts. Meg is in Queensland somewhere too. She's on an island. Nice. Yeah, I agree, Francesca. When I was driving around yesterday counting all the recliners on the side of the road where I live, we got to 51 in like an hour and a half. Just a hard rubbish collection. Everyone's chucking out recliners. It's hilarious. But yeah, anyone that denies climate change is a fucking idiot, because look at the fires, the bushfires at the start of last year, and the floods. This flood has been described as a 1 in 1,000 year flood. Like, people and places just have never seen anything like this before. Fuck going on here, Irvin? Irvin always arrives with a dramatic entrance. We're talking about the floods in Australia, mate. Oh, you started to flood again this morning, but the rain calmed down. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, losing everything. I mean, if you lose everything because your house burns down or it's flooded, it's just horrific. I mean, it's interesting. When I was at school in Kansas City, one of my classmates, his house burned down, and the school did a big, fundraiser, and everyone donated things and whatever. But I remember him speaking. His dad was also one of the music teachers at the high school I was at, and I remember them speaking at an assembly about it, and the dad actually said he was actually grateful it had happened, because it made him rethink about all the things that really mattered to him, and all the material possessions didn't. Like, the fact that his family was safe and his animals were safe was all he cared about. It's quite an interesting speech. Hi, Stoner girl. Oh, God, Tamara, you're having a terrible time. The kids had COVID, so you couldn't leave. The house didn't flood too bad. We did lose our TVs and everything, though. Oh, I've got a little ticker, actually, that I was going to have up, just scrolling along the bottom. This is just the flood appeal phone number and the Red Cross website you can donate to. But Tamara, what do you guys need? Miss K, you've got floods around you as well, but you're okay. Not bad like Lismore. Lismore is just horrific. You're on the second story in rain and wind clearing gutters yesterday. That's the other thing. Like, when a place is likely to flood, the conditions out there are shocking, and you've got to try and get things prepared and ready. When I was in Hawaii, I flew into Hawaii in a cyclone, and the house where I was staying, they'd been sandbagging and getting everything ready for it, but it blew over where we were. It didn't actually cause any issues, but that's probably the closest I've really come to being in a natural disaster, apart from the 1967 bushfires in Tasmania, but I was 2 weeks old, so I don't remember them. My mum did. She had a horrible time, but it would be very scary. And you've got power going off, you've got floods. I'm going to show some photos that will just give you an idea of the devastation as well, like houses, 2-story houses, and you can barely see the roof at the top. But some really good satellite images. I mean, I shouldn't say good, it's awful, but the satellite images really tell a story. Oh, we're all putting out positive vibes that it doesn't hit tonight. You'll lose your house for sure tonight. Oh, everyone put lots of love and prayers, if you're into that sort of stuff, up for tomorrow, that the storm doesn't cause more flooding. It might just do a bit of a wiggle, Irvin, but it's not an earthquake. Yeah, I didn't think you were in Queensland, but there you go. I thought for some reason you guys were in Melbourne. Yeah, it would be very, very scary. I'm also more than happy if anybody would like a link. Like, I'm happy to drop the link if people just want to come up and chat about how they're feeling about it. Like, it's not a therapy session because I'm not trained in that regard, but I do think us all just chatting and talking about it is a good thing. Yeah, 51 recliners on the side of the road. Lots of 100 and 1,000-year events. And I mean, the floods in Queensland last year, they said was 1 in 100-year flood, and it's happened again a year later, and it's a million times worse. You can't get your cupcakes for your birthday. When's your birthday, Miss Kay? We could sing happy birthday to you. That's a positive story. I'll make you cupcakes. The Windsor Bridge in New South Wales is so-called flood-proof. Been there 2 years and been flooded twice. Yeah. I think flooding, yeah, well, I don't know. I think they're both scary, to be honest. But I mean, at the moment, watching the flooding, it's horrific. But I remember this time last year with the fires, that was just horrific too. We had a bag packed each of clothes for the kids. I had my parents' ashes in a suitcase with some photos and stuff. We're just praying the rain stopped on Tuesday. So full on. I do love that you packed your parents' ashes, though. That's so cute. I mean, not that you could possibly leave them, but it's interesting what we grab, you know, when we have to evacuate quickly. There's a comedian that I used to do stuff with in Adelaide. He actually became quite well known because he was on a few TV shows, a guy called Limo. But he used to do a routine about flood wear, like the clothing that when people are told to evacuate, doesn't matter whether it's a fire or flood or whatever, but just flood wear and how people just end up going, fuck, you know, because you're at home. Like if I had to evacuate right now, I'm in gym pants, a gym top and thongs. And then you're sitting up on the roof going, I should have grabbed a raincoat, you know, like something warm. Pretty much everything but a fridge, electrical wires. So everything blew up besides the 1,000-year-old fridge. Go fridge. See, there's always a happy story. Hi, Kathy. Look, I'm safe as houses down here, but I'm like a lot of people Australia-wide and the world over are just watching on in horror and just feeling helpless. God, Miss Kay, that's rough. I hope you're okay too. And this stuff's traumatic, you know. I agree. That is one cracker fridge. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Aussie Trish. I actually wrote that banner this morning because I was waiting for a different. Let me see if I can find a different one. I did mean to do that earlier. I want to make sure that, I mean, people that have been affected by the floods, there are flood relief payments that you can. What's this? Oh, that's a government one. Yes, certainly you can reach out to local charities and so on. I mean, there's a Queensland one here with lots of options, but you know, they're calling out for volunteers. There's specific donations that organisations are looking for. They do mention the Red Cross. There's community aid services. There are some GoFundMes, baby give back, like donating baby goods to people. I could even put this. This is the Courier Mail. Their office is completely, well, they moved everything up to the 3rd floor, and luckily a lot of their stuff that they need is has been saved, but it's the first time in the history of the Courier Mail they haven't been able to put out a paper. I'm just going to scroll right down. Melmo was here earlier. She's in a safe area. Yeah, she's in Western Australia. She's not near the floods. Where's Kenny? You pack pads and no undies. Hey, it's weird, isn't it? We all need the diva cups. Well, I don't. I've gone through the menopause. Yeah, you would freak out. That's what I mean. And that's what Limo was talking about with floodwear. Like, people just grab the most random shit. Like, they'll be sitting up on their roof with, I don't know, just something random that they don't need, thinking, oh, my God. So hopefully this link will work. But there's a lot of different options in there for donating. I'll turn the ticker off. I was trying to find a completely different number. The flood appeal number that was scrolling is good. But that Courier Mail article's got, let me see if it worked. Where's my chat? Yeah, if you click on that Courier Mail link, there's a lot of different ways you can donate. And people up near the area can volunteer. And I think that's probably a better thing for people to have a look at. There's a lot of things listed there. I did call the government Tuesday, but until we're out of isolation, no one can come out to assess the damage. This is just the worst, isn't it? Like, fuck COVID. I mean, it's got to a point where they're saying it's in the community. We've all got to live with it. They keep saying, it's pretty mild, and yet you catch it and you're basically cut off from everything. It's ridiculous. They really should lift those restrictions in special circumstances, and this is a natural disaster. Living in an area that has frequent tornadoes after a home was flattened. Oh, you've had a home flattened in a tornado, Stoner Girl? Shit. We learned to keep go bags ready with cash, important documents, clothing, shoes, and such. Like only a week ago, not even a week ago, but in one of the lives I've done recently, I was talking about how this mum in Ukraine was saying how she's trained her little kids to know when to run, and they've got to grab their little backpacks that have their paperwork and money and identification and like little snacks, like food supplies. And I was thinking that's just so sad. But, realistically, I mean, I have a fire evacuation bag that's in the boot of my car. But if, if I'm home, and I can't drive, I can still grab the bag. But there's still things you got to add to it. You're good, Ozzy. Good to see you. That's one of the reasons I scrolled down, because I saw people were arriving, and I want to make a point of saying hi to everyone. So I am sorry if I've missed out any people arriving, but good to have you here. Yeah, they're all saying important papers and birth certificate. Well, birth certificates you don't really need a birth certificate. Everything's digital now, but there are certain things you should have, especially like your insurance policy. That's in my fire evacuation bag, a spare copy of that. I keep thinking this is why I should have taught my kids to swim properly. Don't feel bad about that. You're safe at the moment, and that's the most important thing. And you might now really ramp up the swimming lessons, Yeah, you can't with cash. But the problem was too with even Tasmania the other day on a much smaller scale. There's 3 cables that bring the internet to Tassie, and 2 of them were cut the other day, both in accidents, but they were cut. So Tasmania was completely without any internet, and people couldn't get out of car parks because they couldn't use their cards, and they couldn't use the ATMs to get cash out. So all the car parks are set to lift the boom gates. Everyone got free parking. Joey's got a glory box. Oh, you lost everything, Tamara. Oh my God. Oh, really, Aussie Trisha? The last I heard about Ukraine was that the Russians have taken one of their cities. Like only an hour ago I was listening. I was going, oh, fuck. But meanwhile, I also listened to a mayor of one of the towns in Ukraine going, we're going to beat them, so they might as well leave. That's full on too. And with all this other shit going on in the world as well, like the floods and everything, I mean, it's a scary, when people are distracted because there's other stuff going on, good time to rock up and wreak havoc, I love you've still got your sense of humor. But is there anything where you just got a notification regarding that? Wow, okay. We might chat about that in a little while too. Good question, Vivian. What is your plan? Tamara. Do you want to take a link? Does anyone want to jump up? And we still need our birth certificates too, but everything's kind of digital now. You worked for a bank, retired, went for a home loan. They said you didn't exist. You had to get a paper one. Yeah, but they're all expenses. Yeah, I agree. I'm like that when things are really bad tomorrow. It's like I've just got to keep laughing, otherwise it's all going to turn to shit. I'm watching it too, and I was chatting about it the other day in my live, and someone was like, oh, I'm not interested in it. And it's like, well, it's unfortunate because I am, and I'm going to talk about it. But yeah, I'm watching it like a hawk. God, they're great though, the Ukrainians. What awesome people. They're kind of almost like the Australians of Europe. Their sense of humor is just fantastic in the face of all of the shit they're going through right now. And that's one of the things I love about this country too, that there have been laughs while they've been reporting. Like there's always a little feel-goody story, or they'll interview someone who's like, oh, yeah, it's a bit wet, but we'll be right. She'll be right, mate. Your son's having the hardest time getting a copy of his... Wow, okay. The Ukrainians are amazing. You're watching it 24/7 too? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just learning so much more about the Ukraine as well. Did you know that they are like, hang on a sec, I don't want to give the wrong info, but did you know that the Ukrainians were all started PayPal, WhatsApp, Grammarly, and Snapchat. Did you know that? They're smart people. Your hero is the ghost pilot. I don't know about the ghost pilot. Wait, tomorrow. It's raining now, but not heavy. Our river has overflowed already, which is what will end up flooding us. It feels anymore. Oh, my God, I just hope that it... Oh, Kathy's spinning Kathy. Nice. Very switched on people. I don't know if I want to be depressing and show the before and afters, but I kind of want to, because they're just, I haven't actually seen this sort of wait a minute, that's the Courier Mail with all the places that you can help. I haven't seen this kind of media before, and it's pretty interesting. But obviously very sad as well. I had two of them open. Where's the other one? Here we go. I was going to show you guys. Hi, Ruth. Ghost pilot isn't real, but I'll have to Google. Hey, Casper. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. You called a few hotels. There was only one with vacancies. $260 a night, half an hour away. Just block off all the doorways and just bunker down, and we'll just keep hoping that that it doesn't flood again. There's a reason why we didn't do batshit this week. I'm not going to go into any details about what Finn's going through, but Finn lives in Queensland, and I know I've got a lot of friends in Queensland and New South Wales at the moment that are affected. I haven't got anyone whose house is completely underwater, but I've got a lot of friends who've got a massive mess to clean up. I'll show you these photos though, because they're kind of... What's this article called? New South Wales, Queensland flood live updates. I've got so many windows open. Okay. Oh, Joey, we've all missed you, dolls. It's always good to see you. A Ukrainian jet fighter pilot smashing the Russians. His jet crashed. He was back up in the air like straight. Oh, okay. All right. So have a look at these photos. These just give you a really good sort of idea of what's happened. They've got these before and after satellite photos. So we're at Grafton at the moment, Grafton in Yamba in New South Wales. So this is like a satellite photo of this area. And then with the magic of technology, you do this. And that's what it's like at the moment. Well, that's what it was like, sorry, on March the 1st with all the clouds and so on. That's what it normally looks like. And that is what it's looked like with all the rain clouds and storms. And you just keep going down. So we've got Tweed. And that's what Tweed normally looks like. That was in February, that satellite photo. And then March the 1st. And all of that kind of browny colour, that's flooding. That's floodwaters. I'll just jump over to StreamYard and check that you guys can see it. You love Eric. Who's Eric? Hi, Mel. Who's Eric? Oh my God, I love Eric. Are you okay, Casper? For some reason, I always thought you were a bit more further up, like a bit more sort of not FNQ, but this is Lismore. Now, this is a town. You can see Lismore down the bottom, in the photo. This is the town where Francesca's friend's house is completely underwater. And have a look at it. Like, look at all that flood water. And there's Lismore. I can't, if I move my cursor, but if you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a huge cloud, and you can just see where it says Lismore. But that's been really badly hit, that area. I mean, look at all that water. Got to go somewhere. Ballina's a little town that hasn't flooded before ever. And this is Ballina on February the 9th. And then this was Ballina on the 1st of March. Look at the clouds again. Like, it's insane. But there's another one. Let me just come back to chat for a second. I still want to know who. Oh, you're only 45 minutes. Are you okay, Casper? Yeah, Ballina is actually an island because they've got a king tide happening at the moment too. I still want to know who the fuck Eric is. Now let me find. I found another article that had those slideys. But I mean, look, there's thousands of photos and articles that you can look at. But this is Brisbane. These are some aerial photos, the same sort of concept, but this time it's Brisbane. And because we've got a few peeps from Brisbane area in chat, let's have a look at these ones. Oh, sorry. Were you back at the start, Mel, when I played 1927? Of course, Eric's the lead singer of 1927. Eric? Who the fuck is Eric? Oh, so you've been blocked for a couple of days. Good to hear you're fine, Casper. Tamara's having a bit of a shitty time. Hi, Happy Crone. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, well, everyone's safe, as far as we know, but a few people are living in precarious. Tamara's in a really bad state. Their house is flooded, kids with COVID, and more storms for the Brisbane area forecast. Oh, where's Kenny? You're having the Toughest time, mate. Much love to you. Meg, I know Meg's in Queensland, but I don't know Vivian. She sometimes drops in here. We've I was meant to see him with a friend last year, and because of the COVIDs, it got adjourned. To me being a lawyer, it wasn't adjourned. It was, like, what's the word? Rescheduled. And they're playing back in Tassie in November. Yeah, Tamara's having a really tough time. I'm trying to work out how we can help her. We will work that out. So these are just some aerial shots like we were looking at before, but this is Brisbane. And I think when you see buildings and stuff, it's even more apparent how devo it is. So this is Milton, Lang Park. And then you do the little sliding McSlider. And we got a shitload of water. Interesting. Like, look at that other highway on the other side of that massive building that's now full of water. Like dry as a bone. You can literally your house can literally be 2 feet lower than the next street over, and they don't get flooded at all, and you do. Oh, wait a minute. I was going to drop a link in chat too if anyone wants to jump up. Yeah, we're hot in Tassie too. Like, that's why I wouldn't normally go live in a singlet, but a tank top, but it's so muggy. It's a new place, Mel. Oh, yeah, the location of the rivers and the heights. Viv.
Me?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. This is the first time you've jumped up on my panel, Vivian.
Oh yeah, well you're usually up little strange time delays here between me and you.
Yeah.
I catch you early morning though sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 8:38 p.m. for me at the moment on Thursday night. What time is it for you?
Oh wait, yeah, so I'll usually be catching your what is your show?
Oh, batshit.
Yeah, batshit. Sometimes I catch it early morning here.
Yeah, we have been a bit inconsistent with the times, and now the floods in Queensland have completely interfered with batshit this week, but hopefully this weekend we'll be able to do a show.
Oh wow. Just devastating. I cannot believe what Australia's been through the last 5 years.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've always been unfortunately prone to natural disasters like most continents, but yeah, Australia's certainly copped a bit of a battering. I mean, the one thing we haven't really been battered by as badly as other parts of the world is COVID, because we had such strict lockdown laws, but now that's all kind of backfiring, because like even with Tamara, because her kids have COVID, the government, like, no one can go out and actually assess the damage.
Oh really?
To help with the flood relief. Here's trouble. Tired as fuck. Good to see you.
Yo, what's up?
Hey,
Vivi.
Phil.
How you doing, baby?
So at those fires, though, I remember those. Was that 2012 when people had to literally run to the ocean?
They were in Tasmania. They were Tasmanian bushfires where people were running into the sea. But we had massive bushfires. Was it last year, Mel, or 20?
I think it was the year before,
20.
Time's gone so fast.
Yes. 2020 was when we had the really bad ones, and we lost a lot of wildlife. And actually, as a result of that, koalas have just recently, in the last few weeks, been declared an endangered species.
Really?
Oh, Joey says 2019.
Jeez. I lose track of time. I've got grandkids popping out like no one's beeswax. And
Yes, you do.
I just lose time.
Congratulations on the arrival of your third grandchild.
He's so
Oh.
tiny.
Is he
Did you
tiny?
get to see him? Did you get to
He's
hold
tiny.
him? Mel?
He's
Mel,
just
did
a
you
little
get-
thing. Sorry, Viv.
Did you get to hold him?
I did.
Yay.
They popped over because there was a Rona case at Joshy's school and they weren't going to come over. And then my daughter, she's highly erratic. She just changed her mind and actually woke me up. But it was with a baby. So I was like, woo! And I got the
Aw.
stupidest photo of me holding the baby. I look like a dipshit, but I don't care because I just literally woke up and I got an armful of love.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Aw.
I'm going to show you because I'm not allowed to post a video, but she won't see it on here.
Let me stop.
Yeah.
I'll,
He doesn't
I'll
know where
stop
your
sharing
hands
this
are.
screen so we can see. Oh, no, hang on.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness.
That was at 6 days old. Obviously a wind burp, but I swear to God, it looks like he's smiling.
He does.
He looks like the happiest old man.
Yeah, well, because he had to
So
keep
cute.
going. He had to keep going back into hospital because of his jaundice levels, because of the blood issue. And that was just after they got home for the last time, and he was so happy.
Oh, he's cute.
One more, Tori, and then I promise I'll stop.
No,
Get
that's
back
all
to
right.
the agenda.
Casper's just sent me a
Aw.
little video that I'm going to show too. Oh, shit.
He's
Hang on.
adorable. He looks like
Oh,
he's going to be big, like really big man.
We make him big here.
Wait, I need to see the other photo. I was checking my email because Casper's sent a video that I'll play in a sec.
Didn't I send it to you?
I've seen Smiley, but I thought you were about to show a second photo.
Oh, I did. Hold on.
He's a chubba chubba.
Finn's checked in. He said it'll be all right. I'll sort it all out. He's going through a terrible time too. Our little buddy Finn.
Oh, why? What, is he all right?
No, he's a Brisbane dweller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's no.
I mean, oh wait,
fun.
he sent me videos and stuff too, but I don't want to show his without his permission. But we're probably going to do that shit on the weekend, and he'll probably show his videos and stuff then, maybe.
It's so.
He's
It is like, I know I've said this, but I've been through a town flood. The whole town got literally transported to Perth, and which was an hour and a half away, 2 hours away at the time, and it was one of the most traumatic things that I've been through. Like, my sister lived in the same town at the time. She was on a different bus. We all ended up eventually meeting at a relative's house after getting picked up from the place we all got dumped. But we didn't know whose houses had survived. Her house was like up to boobies height in water. Ours was over the road from the rec centre where everyone sort of congregated over my side of the town, which was good for them because, like, I just kept walking through like waist height water to my house and put into this washing basket all the food that I could. I had this gigantic container of lollies. I made a shit ton of kid friends. So I was able to help out, until they broke into the local shop and got everything off the high shelves that they could to bring it. Because, it was so traumatic. No one died, thank God. But everything was stuffed. And like these transport trucks that kept going past our house, we had to open the front and the back door because every time they went past, a wave of water would go through the front and come out the back. So all of our floors had to be replaced and anything touching the floors. But
Oh, sorry, I was going to say Lee D's just rolled into chat. She's in Brizzy too, so we're just checking on how she's doing. She said she's okay, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I'll shut up. But I can feel what they're going through.
Well, I did actually.
Where
sorry,
was that
Vivian.
again? You said you had to go from your home to Perth, and how far is that from where you were?
That was about an hour and a half out of Perth. We all got put on buses.
Oh wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
And then
You
you've
were
got to
you
go
were
back
without your
and
mother? Were you without your mother or without your sister?
No, my sister, because all the phone what happened was I went to bed and the water had, because there's no water in that town. Like we had a river that went through the town, but there was nothing in it, you know.
right, yeah,
And there had been cyclones like so far away, but because of the amount of water it dumped, all this water just came straight from all these different angles straight through our town. So that night I went to bed, it was just lapping on the curb, the roadside curb. I got woken up at like 4 o'clock in the morning by my mum. She goes, "Go outside." Oh, I opened the front door. It was up to the top step, and we were on stilts. We were like a meter off the ground. And all I
Jeez.
said on the phone to my mum was, "Holy fuck." And I knew, I was just like, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Oh gosh.
And yeah, it was just on after that. And then I didn't know where my sister had lost her phone. We didn't have mobile phones then. And so yeah, she was over the other side of town, which was worse. And she had a baby, and I was just like, oh my God, what the hell? So anyway, we all ended up going to the same relative's house. We all got transported to the same place. They came and picked us up, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so I went back a couple of days later. I left my daughter, I can't remember. I think my mum took her back to her town with her. And I went back and I was just, me, I was just feeding people and doing like runs to the nearest town to get supplies and helping cleaning and all that sort of stuff.
Wow, sounds
Well,
tragic.
yeah, it's full on, and to have PTSD is understandable. I actually saw when you at the start of before I went live that you'd mentioned it, Mel, and I didn't want to ask you to come up in case it was going to trigger it, but it's so powerful actually hearing, people's stories when they've been through it, because just the vastness of the cleanups for everyone and what they're returning to. And you see all of these photos of Queenslander houses that are also elevated and on stilts.
And those Queenslander houses are like above our height because people park their cars under there and everything.
Yeah.
So you can only, like, when the water's up in those houses, it's going down because it's that high up,
Absolutely. Like full the first and second stories of buildings completely underwater, and just the height of them, it's insane. Now I'm going to try and work out how I can show Casper's video. It starts as soon as I click on it. So
one of the worst parts was we all got put onto cattle trucks and had to get transported from one side of town to the other over bridges, and they couldn't see the bridge. They had to go on and I was like, holy crap, we're going to end up off the bridge. Oh, it's just a shit show. But
So,
they did a really good
turning
job.
onto the bridge, you couldn't tell where the bridge was?
Driving over the bridge, you couldn't tell where the bridge was because everything was just water.
It was all water. Oh my gosh, how scary.
You feel like you're in an apocalypse. You really do. That's probably the only way to explain it.
It's just so friggin' scary. Like,
it really is.
I've never been in a flood. I live in the mountains, so I'm always like thinking how it is to be at a lower level. Like, so because I'm asking myself right now, like Australia, you're south of the equator, right?
Yeah.
And so, what's your water table like? How far do you have to dig for water, or are you like literally on top of like an ocean tablet type thing?
She's asking really hard questions.
I know.
Well, because obviously if it floods that hard, it floods and it holds that water, that means your tablet or the earth is not absorbing it fast enough, right?
There is a lot of land in Australia that is just dry and desalinated, whatever they call it. So like it's just, it's dry as fuck in most places.
But then also the parts that are flooding at the moment have had their wettest summers in a long time. So where they are, part of the reason it's flooding and also these new storms coming in is because the soil is just so drenched at the moment. Interestingly, a story came out today that while the rest of the country, or not the rest of the country, but we've got these floods going on, another drought has just been declared in Tasmania, where I live. We do have the soil with no water in it, and we've had the driest summer in a long time. So yeah, we've got part of the country's flooding, and another part's in drought, with farmers once again not being able to feed their animals, and it's just we've got.
But don't
shitty
worry,
things.
we're sending $60 million worth of weapons overseas.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and there
sorry,
was another
sorry.
no, but
Wait,
there was
they're
another
sending
story
weapons to
too
you?
to Ukraine.
Oh, you're sending weapons to Ukraine?
$60 million worth.
Yeah.
Plus, there's
I was
another
looking-
government. There's a federal government relief fund that's got millions and gazillions of dollars sitting in it, and they haven't tapped into it for years. Like, it's just sitting there gaining interest, and we keep having natural disasters, and they're not tapping into it. Casper, I can't work out how to screen share. It won't let me screen share
I
my
bet Meg
video.
can do it, unless you send her the file, maybe, huh?
He sent me the little video and I've downloaded it, but I can't, like, when I go to share the screen, it's not coming up in the options of things I can share.
Well, so upload it to YouTube and just put it on unlisted, and then you could share it easier.
True. All right, well, you two need to chat while I do that. I'll be
All
back.
right. So I was
Yeah,
gonna
better.
say, is Australia part of the UN then, or NATO?
That's a Tory question. I know nothing about politics. I can't.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it.
Well, because I'm trying to wonder. Well, I'm trying to think why Australia would send them $60 million unless they had made an agreement with the UN. Well, I don't know.
We are.
We just
Oh,
like to be
sorry.
involved.
We are a party to the UN, yes, but we're also
Yeah, because
party to
sometimes
NATO.
when you make an agreement with the UN, you get chartered with them as a country. You have to make agreements that you will do certain things, and you would fund global things. So that's probably why they're doing that. Like, every UN member has to do something per treaties. So what would you, Mel, if you were going through, how are you prepared for floods in your current state? Like, because you've been through it, so it's probably in the back of your mind.
Well, where I am now, because I'm not where I used to be. Like, technically, I live on an island.
Oh,
We are surrounded by water, so we'd be screwed. But I don't think I honestly have to say, I don't think you can prepare for a flood. You can prepare for cyclones and things like that, but with floods, you never know where the water level's going to be and what you're going to be able to take. And it depends what time. The best thing to do is just, if you have warning, which we did for the second one because there was another flood after the first one.
mm-hmm.
We packed the car and just went to my mum's, which was like an hour and a half away as well. And just took like the most important stuff. But, if you don't get warning, there's not much that you can do.
Oh man.
There's really not. In cyclones and stuff, yeah, because, you can fill the bathtub, you can do, lots of little things, have your rations, cans, food, blankets, that sort of shit, torches. But yeah, I mean, our car was like totaled as well in that flood.
What year was that?
I don't even know now. And honestly,
Well,
if I say it,
all
it'll be giving too much away because people will be able to know where.
Oh, okay. Well, I would think I'd have like one of those float up little boats. Floaty
A
boats.
dinghy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing is, Viv, is that there was that town wasn't near any massive lakes or rivers or anything like that. So it was totally, the last time it had been flooded was like 100 years before. There was no, you would never even think that it would flood. It was just like, where the hell did all this water come from?
Was there dams breaking too?
No, it was just the fact that it was so dry, and there was a few cyclones and so much rain, and it just all sort of trickled.
Oh wow.
And if I lived in Queensland, I'd be strapping a dinghy to my roof.
If I was in Queensland, which I've lived in Queensland, in Townsville, yeah, I would. We constantly in Townsville had commercials showing what to pack if there was a cyclone warning and things like that all the time.
So can you help me out? Because I'm not very smart about the geography of where's Queensland? Is that south or is it north? And
I'll show you a map of. I was about to show. This is really quick. This is the video that Casper has sent me of his sister's place, just to give you a bit of an idea of the floods, and then we'll show you a map of Australia, Vivian, so you know where we all are.
Put a helicopter pad out back.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit.
Dang, yeah, that's all the way up here.
Everywhere you look is just water.
It's just, oh my God, Casper, that's full on.
And one of the worst things when it floods is the snakes, mice, spiders,
crocodiles,
everything come to your house.
Yeah, they've got huge crocodile problems because they all start coming and looking. We'll get you a map of Australia, Vivian, so we can give you a little geography lesson on where we all are.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find one. I'm going to find one that's pretty and
Tori
simple.
Is the brains of this operation. She knows the politics. Look at you with your tank top on. You're looking buff. You've been working out.
And tan.
Yeah.
I should have, as soon as I went live, I was like, oh my God, because I've got a black sport. And I was like, Tori, you've got a pale pink tank top on. Go and put on something more flattering, like a black, dark top or something. I was like, it's too hot. So
nah, me likey.
You like it?
I can appreciate another bitch's form, and I'm liking it.
You like it for form, thank you, Mel.
Feel like I need to go work out.
Yeah, I'm a bit gym addicted at the moment. I'm loving it.
Don't say that too fast.
All right, so Vivian, this is a map of Australia, and Queensland, which is the big green bit over here. Am I sharing the map? Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. So this is Queensland up here, the green state. That's one of the states that's flooding, and it's flooding down in this sort of southeastern bit. So it's now flooding down here into New South Wales. I live down here on this little island, Tasmania, the little love heart-shaped island. And then Mel is way over here in this state in Western Australia, the big blue state.
Oh, okay.
So Mel and I could literally not have been further apart geographically.
Yeah.
And then being there, our friend Mem, she was over here in Queensland. So the three of us were like pretty much as far away from each other as you can possibly get in the country.
So where's Meg? Way up there north on that little bitty island?
Well, people keep saying Meg's on an island, and there's a lot of there's the Whit Sundays. There's a heap of little islands off the coast of Queensland. If that's where she is. Then we've got Joey Wilson. She's in New South Wales.
And where's
Lawler's Corners in Queensland. He's just rolled in.
Rolled or floated? Sorry. Welcome.
we've got a few people in Queensland. Lee D, Miss K, you're in Victoria, I think, the purple state.
A rubber ducky boat.
South Australia represent. Who else have we got? Casper's in Queensland.
Where's Vinny?
And Kathy's
Vinny's-
just sexy.
Vinny's in Victoria,
Where's that?
the purple area.
Oh,
It doesn't look like a vag.
It does.
I-
It looks like a map of Tassie.
If you've got pubic hair, but we always say it's like a little love heart.
Australia looks like an upside down United States.
Well, Vivian, it is actually, I'll show you another map. This might interest you because a lot of my American buddies, like, a lot of Americans, even on YouTube, talking about traveling around the world, a lot of them say that, they'll go, well, it's, a really big country and it's expensive. I mean, it's frigging expensive for us to get anywhere from Australia, and Australians just travel like we were born to. But they quite often, Americans' reasons for not traveling around is because of how big the US is and how hard it is for them to, and how expensive it is for them to get out of the US. But I just want to show you this, because it's kind of cool.
Yeah, everyone in America thinks we all live in one apartment block.
So, yeah, look at that. That's Australia, the outline of Australia put over the USA, and we're pretty much the same size.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the south coast of New South Wales. I knew you were further down south. I know Francesca's down in Victoria. We've got changed the maps now, but look at little Tasmania. See, just that little love heart. Come on.
Cute. So, yeah,
Um,
Americans usually can't think outside of their box very much. We think everything revolves around us.
Well, when I lived in the States, I was an exchange student to Kansas City, which, funny enough, does actually get a mention on that map. But we had like 6 weeks at UCLA in Los Angeles before we went out to our respective cities. And I remember watching the news one night, and the newsreader said, "And now to world news," and they crossed to a story from New York. It's like, really? That's your world news?
Like here in the U.S., we're looking at the Ukraine war as entertainment, not like a war. That's how Americans, I'm stereotyping, but that's kind of how we approach things. Entertainment versus reality. It helps us get on with everything better.
Better.
That's
you, said,
not true, actually.
you just said better like an Australian. You're like, better.
I did.
Yeah.
She's being Aussified.
I'll try, maybe.
She goes into Vinnie G's, so she's learning all the things.
Do you?
He's a teacher.
Oh, he will teach you a lot. A lot of stuff you probably don't even need to learn.
He took me to Melbourne, and I was quite intrigued. What an amazing city.
Well, that's where you've got to be. If you want to be Aussified, you've got to go Melbourne.
City of
Right.
churches, isn't it?
No, that's Adelaide.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Adelaide.
I just cannot believe the fashion and the women and the shoes. How Australians are far more fit looking.
Yeah, but none of us can afford that shit, Vivian. Vinny can, so that's why he's obsessed with shoes. He has a shoe fetish. No shit, he does. Ask him about his shoes one day. He has a cupboard thing, and they all have their little spots. Yeah.
Hi, Scout Inquirer.
But he's very, he has a man bag. He's very fashion orientated.
He's bougie. Yeah, skinny
He is.
jeans.
He's bougie.
Look at the
I can
spellings
find
of
a better
Melbourne in the
shoes.
chat. Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Oh, you're a Saints girl. Miss Kay's a
Melbourne.
Saints girl.
Melbourne. Okay, got it.
Oh, this is probably easier. Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yes. She's
Well
straight.
done.
I did it. Melbourne.
You got it in. Yep, Melbourne. Whereas it's funny because Vivian, we're like so Australians are so fascinated by the world, and even for us just to go and visit family and friends in other states, we've still got to travel quite a long way. So we just travel everywhere, and we're so isolated. Like you guys can drop over to London for the weekend. You can do Paris for a weekend if you live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Tori, who's your bubble? Where's Kenny? We've got, I don't know why the names aren't showing. But up on panel at the moment, well, there's me, obviously, and we've got Vivian to my right, and there's Mel Mel. And I did just drop the link too if anyone else wants to come up, because we're really just having a chat.
Oh,
I
so
thought-
Mel, your photo's that guy. He's the physician
Beaker.
off Sesame Street. Oh, wait, Muppets?
The Muppets.
Yeah,
Ah,
Muppets.
the Muppets. What's his name? Bleeker?
Beaker.
Beaker.
Let me change it
Oh,
to one
Oh,
you're
sorry,
more.
Irvin's. So I think Wes Kenny is asking who's
There
the
you go.
bubble. Well, that's me, Irvin. It was on my 50th birthday, so it is 5 years old, but that is me. G'day, Lawless Corner. How you doing?
Hey, g'day. How's it going?
Good, mate. What's up? How are you doing? Are you all right?
Yeah. I live in Forest Lake up on top of the hill. So,
Who,
Oh,
the hell,
cool.
who the hell is that?
it's western suburbs, last suburbs, basically, before you leave Brisbane to the west.
Who
But right up-
who are you?
I am me.
This
On
is-
the
That is-
map, I live in cell block D.
oh my god, he sounds a little bit like Mick.
Mick? Oh, no. Hitchhiker survived traveling in my truck.
Oh, my God, Wolf Creek.
Yeah. I love telling hitchhikers when I pick them up, backpackers, and you put them in the truck and you go, ever heard of Wolf Creek? And they go, no. And then I just have a great time telling them the storyline of Wolf Creek. And by the time we get to the next town, they're looking for a relief on their face that they survived.
Vinny
Ah.
actually picked up some people one time on his travels, and he told them that his name was Mick. I'm like, what?
Casper reckons you sound like Mick too, Greg. So I'll just do an introduction. So Greg, meet Mel and Vivian. This is Gregory
Mel.
Lawler from Lawler's Corner.
Howdy.
Gregory Law.
Lur.
Law. Good to meet you.
Lawler.
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 Good to meet you, Gregory Lawler.
How's it going, mate?
Vivian, you can pronounce that Lawler because
Lawler.
that's how we
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Lawler.
I mean, yeah. Christ, I get Waller, Mauler, Crawler. It's shit.
Lawler.
And then they go, how do you spell it? You go, it's Lawler. Lawler. And they go, Mr. Muller. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm not German.
And just out of interest, Gregory, are you single?
Yes.
Oh,
Thankfully.
there you go, everyone. Anyone need a visa?
Yeah. But you got to bring your own floaties at the moment because getting from the airport into the city is a bit wet.
Bring your
So
phone. Anyone need a
where are
visa?
you, Gregory? Again? Sorry.
Brisbane, Queensland.
Okay, where's that on the map?
On the east coast up the top. I live in the capital city of Queensland, the place where the flooding started.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
I was
Is
in
that-
Townsville for over a year.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting town.
Yeah,
I've-
my
I've
daughter's
lived there.
father was in the army.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm bringing
Yes.
the map up. I'm
I'm-
bringing the
I'm-
map up. So if anyone joins the panel, we
Yeah.
can show Vivian. So that big green state again.
That's my place.
That's where Gregory Mauler lives.
Greg owns that whole green area.
Mel
Oh, shit,
owns
yeah.
Hey,
that.
sounds like a
Yeah,
bala.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm the
That-
richest. I own all the blue bit.
Gregory the
Does.
Lala is the bala.
Yeah, but I left the tap on in the bath last night, and now New South Wales is suffering.
Kathy
Oh,
reckons she sounds ochre too. I want everyone to get up and show us your ochre accents. Joe Wilson's got a bit of an ochre accent when she
Oh
gets
yeah,
fired.
she does. Oh yeah, Joey sounds like one of them bogans off what's that show?
How's
Howzos. She totally. Whatever happened to that application you put in, Joey?
Ruth is offering to glue together a shitload of wine bags to make a Lilo. If anyone, do you need a Lilo, Gregory Mauler?
Yeah, no, I'm not keen on the vino.
No, she's going to make
she's
you a
gotta
Lilo. She's drunk the vino. She's going to use the empty wine, like the goon bags, to make you a Lilo.
Yeah, no,
He's right.
I'm pretty right for Lilos, especially at the moment. I mean, you just call up and the emergency services will drop them on the roof for you.
So what's the weather forecast for the future of your region?
Hey, Green Eyes. They're Green Eyes. You're in Queensland too, aren't you, mate? I'm pretty sure Green Eyes is a Queenslander as well. Are you okay?
Blink if you're not okay.
Yeah, blink if you're not okay.
Fucking mozzies. So sick of him.
Oh, Ruth's sad. She was offering to make the Lilo to get a visa. She was thinking Greg might be like, oh my goodness, someone's going to make me a Lilo and propose to her and she'd get the visa.
Greg's just breaking hearts all over the shop.
So you just have to, what? You have to message Greg and he'll give you a visa or what?
Oh, no,
It's
a little more involved than that.
You got to marry
Australia.
No, you got to know his toothbrush color.
Yeah. You know how I like my back rubbed, and you know
how
you've got to know
he has his bowel movements.
Yep. Color, smell. You don't know that shit. They're going to go, no, this is a bullshit relationship. No, she goes back.
Now, Green Eyes is also in Bris Vegas, but they also live on top of a hill. They might live on the same hill as you, Greg.
Brisbane's built on 7 hills, and then there's umpteen million hills in between.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're like Rome, built on 7 hills with the big river running through the guts of it all.
Built on 7 hills. That I did not know. Did you know that, Mel?
I did.
The useless things you learn in history.
God, we have such a bad mosquito problem.
I was wondering what was going on then. That got dramatic for a second. So Green Eyes is at Ferny Grove.
Oh, yeah, nice end of the world.
Ferny Grove. Now, that does sound like the pubic hair region of a girl's vajayjay.
And Green Eyes, just go out the front and yell, cooey, and Greg might answer back.
Bit of a distance from Forest Lake to Ferny Grove, but that's more of the yuppie end of town. You know, there's not too many of the great unwashed living out there. Sorry, Green Eyes, I don't mean to be offensive.
Casper knows Ferny Grove. Lee's in Indooroopilly.
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 Yeah, it's great. Every Brisbaneite gets every foreigner they meet, and they say, "How do you say that?" And it's side-splitting.
Indooroopilly. When I was having a nice little cheeky little vino at a little cafe in Sydney one day, and some Americans walked past, and one of them went, "I really love this part of Sydney. What's it called again? Wooloo Mooloo." Like, really, the whole thing went, "It's Woolloomooloo." And they'd go Indooroopilly.
Yeah. It is hilarious listening to them and trying things like Capalaba. I mean, that's just side-splittingly funny.
Murwillumbah is a good one. Green Eyes is saying it's not all yuppies in Ferny, not Furry Grove.
Furry Grove. See, I said I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you. The Budrum, nice end of the world there too, the Glasshouse Mountains.
Casper's north up the freeway, about 45 minutes.
He wants to know.
Good night, where's Kenny? Where's Kenny sliding out?
You got a cute little puppy face.
They killed Kenny.
You bastards!
Green eyes. I'm a Pullman. I still know how to pronounce Indrupili.
Indrapilli.
Indrapili.
Yeah, it's easy.
I
All right,
could tell
well,
you some streets, but I'd dox myself. Like I would dox myself. Some of them are just ridiculous.
Well, we've
So
got a
what is
town
this
down here. Since
language?
you're so fussy about pronunciation,
Tassie's got
Greg,
some shite names too.
how do you pronounce this one? Ouse.
I'm pretty sure I did a live
shoot.
stream on pronouncing Australian towns.
Oh,
one
I'm not
time.
even going to
Remember?
touch that. Use.
No, it's ooze.
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 Yeah, in Tasmania, the education level's not real high for you foreigners listening in. It's it's a bit of a substandard grade to the rest of the country.
They make their own kind of lazy language.
Yeah.
Well, that's
They
not
make
saying a
their
lot.
own beer.
Corey's way smarter than I am.
They make some really sus beer down there.
We make some shit hot beer too, and scotches and gins. I might
She
point
gets
out,
smacky,
that
Greg.
I've got a few
Sorry.
degrees under my belt, mate. You might want to rethink that about our education levels.
He's just
sorry.
fucking with you. He's just fucking with you.
The best part was the first time I ever went to Tasmania. I got off the boat. I pulled into the garage to get fuel. The guy said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Australia." He went off. "Where the F do you think you are? Rah, rah, rah. This is Tasmania. Rah, rah, rah." I said, "Piss off, mate." I said, "I just crossed 150 miles of sea. You can't tell me I'm still in Australia." I thought the poor bloke would have a stroke.
Yes, but you are also from the state when you hosted the Commonwealth Games who left Tasmania off the fucking map. So
Yeah, and it was about a couple of months after that. They were very touchy about that shit. And then everyone started
If we did it to
to
you.
notice the Australian Hotel Association had left a dot off the map to represent Tasmania, and that had you up in arms too. So then putting me in the middle of Tasmania, oh yeah, I had fun.
Why is everyone forgetting about Tasmania?
We have been the brunt of every fucking joke ever. Basically from the mainland. But I'd like to show you, speaking of education levels that you were touching on before, I'd like to show you the map of Australia that they show us in like geography classes in Tasmania. This is the map of Australia that we've been taught.
Oh no, they got Queensland.
Take that.
Don't worry, there's always New Zealand. We always like to pull a piss out of them.
That bloody climate warming, eh?
I didn't even know that Queensland existed my whole life. Oh, well, except for the Commonwealth Games. That's when we found out about you guys. But yeah, that's what they teach us in Tassie. That's a map of Australia. And Tasmania is very much on that map, by the way. So, yeah, Quigs it.
I've got to tell a little story here. If you look at that map now, if you look at the bottom of Western Australia, the bottom of Victoria, and South Australia, and there's Tasmania, right? Now, you just imagine Victoria's the right cheek, Western Australia's the left cheek, the Vincent Gulf is the sphinxter, and Adelaide's the arsehole of Australia, and Tasmania's a dag hanging off the right cheek. Sorry.
I'm trying to envision that right now.
Well, you just lowered the tone of this live quite significantly.
Sorry.
With that.
Right?
Crass joke.
Right cheek, left cheek. So right cheek is the pink, purple's the left, sphincter is green, and Tasmania is the ding-a-ling-a-lingy poop.
That's you.
The
You put it better
dingleberry?
than I did. The dingling. Well, yes, a dag hanging off
It's
a
a
sheep's bum.
dingleberry.
She's learnt so much recently. She really has. Vivian's coming along in leaps and bounds. She's going to be ready for Australia in no time.
I can't wait, mate.
Well, just as long, Vivian, just as long as you tell everyone this is the map of Australia.
That
That's the map
sphincter's
you need
really
to show.
large.
Come on,
Well,
there's
not so
enough.
much the sphincter bit. Just this is the map you need to be showing people of Australia.
We're just gonna ignore.
There's
Queensland
enough
exists.
people that think we don't exist as a country, and you're
Yeah.
knocking off
Yeah.
a sixth of the country.
It's our reality. We'll make it whatever we want. Thank you.
That was one of my favourite things a couple of years ago was that whole theory that Australia was fictitious and we're all paid actors, and I'm still waiting for my check if that's the case.
What?
Same here.
Mm. So, Vivian, do you reckon you would, like if you were suddenly given money to travel somewhere in the world, would you reckon you'd come hither first? Would you be coming to Australia?
That's such a good question. I could go anywhere I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go to Australia first since I know all you guys. Go to each one of your house.
Free accommodation, because that's a very Aussie thing to do, is we've always got people staying at our places. We're always like, don't stay in a hotel, come and flop at mine.
I already got it. I already know what I want to do when I come over there. I want to go wrangle some cows with you. I want to go hunting. I want to fish.
Chaos.
I want to party with Vinny.
Mel's partying with someone at the moment.
You're all gonna welcome me. We'll have to do all those things. We'll have to go to Vinny's too.
You're coming here with no clothes, and we have to go to St. Vinny's.
We gotta get a plane too. Just a plane we can take wherever the F we want, and we'll go from there.
I'd go to Japan too, Joey. That's the one place I still haven't been. That's on my. It's the only place now that, like, if that's the only other country I get to see. Although my brother lives in Singapore, so I probably should go there too. I have been to the airport. I feel like that's all you really need to do in Singapore. But Japan's my last place that I haven't been to that I want to tick off.
So it's Lynette, right? Is your name Lynette? You're not Lindley. Oh, Tori. Okay, I keep thinking you're Lindley.
No, I'm not in character. I mean, I can turn into Lindley if you want, but it will be a very monotone, slow.
I was listening to a stream the other week, and someone actually referred to you as Lindley.
That was probably somebody in our area.
You know, Vivian, but they referred to you as Lindley, and I was just laughing.
That's how we know you.
I'm probably better known as Lindley. I should maybe just change my channel to Lindley. Although Lindley has got her own YouTube channel, but that's kind of sad.
So Lindley, how many times? Where's? So you're quite a traveler, Tori.
Yeah.
Is that what you do for your spare time?
Oh, well, I've traveled. I mean, I've moved overseas. I've lived in the States and I've lived in Vietnam.
Oh, cool.
And I've also pretty much not lived in every Australian state. I haven't lived in Western Australia or Queensland, but I've lived in, or Northern Territory, but I've lived in every other state. But yeah, I travel a lot. Well, I used to. COVID nipped that in the bud, but yeah, I've traveled most extensively through Asia, like right up to Mongolia. But I've done like the States, Canada, bits of South America, the UK, and funny enough, I haven't done Europe, but that was always going to be my retirement plan. But I'm not really fussed if I don't do Europe, to be honest, now. But I still
you've always got that guy there in Europe, you know, the one who had the son and
the scammers.
Oh yes, I remember.
There'll be as the weather gets cooler in Tasmania, I will be ramping up the scam baiting again very soon.
I was just thinking about that today.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm so like I cannot handle being on a computer screen when the weather is lovely unless I'm at work and I have no choice. So like if the weather's nice, I'm on the beach.
She
Or I'm
likes to
out.
get down there and fill her pants with sand.
I
Don't
do.
you? On your
Yeah.
booty board.
I appreciate those drives you take us on towards the beach. That's fun.
The drive yesterday was a hoot because we've got hard rubbish collection, which is where councils we can put out rubbish that's like too big to put out in our weekly garbage bins. And it's like big old bits of furniture and mattresses and fridges that don't work anymore, that sort of shit. And the council will come and collect it. But for some reason, like a couple of months ago, when all the Natasha Cooper stuff was at its peak, I was driving into the town where I live, and holy fuck, there was a recliner on the side of the road. So, like, I did a Yui, I did a whole live about it. I made a video. It was the biggest thing ever. Anyway, this hard rubbish collection, like, there's just fucking recliners everywhere. So yesterday we drove around for an hour and a half just in the little coastal town where I live, and we found 51 recliners on the side of the road. 51.
Jeez, nobody wants them anymore. I guess they're out
No.
of style.
The word has got out from YouTube. It's reached Tasmania, halfway to fucking Antarctica, that recliners are bad juju, and everyone's chucking them out. Even Grandma Ducky in the middle of the live, she's like, that's it. And she dragged her recliner out to the curb.
You need to
Bloody
videotape.
ducky.
You need to video
Removalists around the world are thanking you, ladies.
Well, we
They
were
are heavy.
the end of
I
Asshole
know.
things to move.
I did actually say yesterday, I was like, the council guys are going to be so pissed off this collection
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's so many recliners.
Hole of shirts. All right, guys, I gotta go cook for the fam.
Yeah, well, I've got work on tomorrow. But Mel, thanks for jumping up. It was really interesting hearing about your experience, and it's just that constant state of fear. But then there's also all the destruction, and then there's the cleanup, which must be
the cleanup is a bitch because you get rid of it, and it just like there's just more, and it's just mud. It just sticks to everything. Like years after the floods, the lines were still on the house, and we'd pressure hosed and everything,
Yeah.
So what
And
do
so
you do
you've got
about
that-
mold? You gotta up in
Oh,
the walls.
God. Well, we had to. That's why everything gets ripped up. All of our floorboards had to be taken out and replaced, and it was just a shit show.
It's a health.
Yeah, well, our hearts are definitely going out to. Hey, old woman, haven't seen you forever. Nice to see you. Yeah, like I mean, it's just so hard watching this from afar and wanting to help. And I mean, obviously, we can all donate. And I did put the Courier Mail article up earlier that had a lot of different ways you can help out. But there's just that feeling of helplessness too, just watching on from afar. And as much as everyone can donate and pitch in to help, at the end of the day, it's the people that have got to go back into their homes and clean them up, and just how devastating that's going to be for them.
And if you're close, even making up like a little makeup bag with deodorant, a toothbrush, toothpaste, a hairbrush, razors, anything like that will be like that's what my family did. They, put a little bag together for all of us. And that was just
toiletry. Yeah, well, we've got a charity down here that people donate those little sort of packs. It's for single mums charity down here, but they've announced they're sending the ones they've got it straight up to Queensland. So that's a really good tip for everyone too who wants to help out as well. You don't need to Miss K, you don't have to. So many charities do take huge chunks off the top, but some of those courier mail ideas are really good too.
But the one thing is that this isn't going to end until at least the end of the month, before all these rain events will start buggering off and letting us really clean up. So it's like someone was saying on chat earlier, people started cleaning up yesterday, and last night we had another horrific rain bomb hit us, and it flooded. All the good work the people had done was
Oh,
reflooded.
geez.
So
Yeah,
until
they're
the end
sort
of the
of
month,
saying
it's
sit
time to
tight,
just
aren't they?
sit
sit
tight.
tight.
Wait, there's more
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, that's
So
And
you-
also, you know, just people putting all their stuff out on the streets as well. It's just going to spread it further afield. So,
Mhm.
but I also, you understand why people would just want to get in there and start getting everything
Of course,
out.
natural
Yeah.
reaction. But at the moment, it's probably not a good idea, and you're probably just better off
Yeah, no,
waiting
we
to
had to
let
wait
it go.
days.
Yep, let it go. You know,
Well, I'm so sorry.
there's a system in place to help everyone. So,
Everyone here, I'll be praying for your whole.
it's
not their first
part of
rodeo.
living. It's part of living in Queensland.
Yeah.
Yes, flood and fire.
I'm gonna
Australia.
also hop off here. I'm gonna go to bed. I stayed up all night.
Well, Miss Kay, if you want to do that, I think Tamara is right in the thick of it at the moment.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
someone can get her details. You know.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking. I've got her email address. I might, because I did want us to try and work out something to help Tamara out because they're really having a really bad time at it.
She was having a shit time before all of this.
Oh, exactly. So,
yeah.
Maybe
after the live's over, Tori can put any link that she's got into the description, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, I'll connect because she was here earlier, but I think she's got kids with COVID. There's so much going on. I'll just flick her a quick little thing now and just say.
All right, well, I've got to go cook because they'll start biting my kneecaps off soon.
Meet
you, Greg. Bibi,
nice meeting you, mate.
Mel,
Hope the Mozzies don't eat too much.
Have a good rest.
Good night, Vivian. Thank you so much for popping your cherry on traces of nuts and jumping up. And thank you, Mel, as well. She's gone.
All right.
But Vivian, it was really lovely to have you up here. Lovely chatting.
Thank you for doing that for Ms. T. I'll be excited to see how, we can help her. And let me know if there's anything I can do.
Yeah, well, look, I have got a PayPal. So, I mean, the other option is I could drop my PayPal link now, and I'm more than happy to send all of it on to Tamara if people are keen for that. And I'm also more than happy to show receipts.
Well, I could probably do a little video or, make a little video if you need, but you probably can do that too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will be working tomorrow, but then it's the weekend and I'm around, so I can certainly get involved because they're going to need help for a while. It's not going to be like a quick fix. But I have emailed her, so she may have a GoFundMe or something that we can automatically donate to, which will be easier. But if not, I'm happy to sort of use my PayPal as a lending.
Well, let me know. My email's in my about section. If there's anything I can do, please reach out.
Yeah, I will, Vivian. Thank you so much.
Right,
It's lovely from the other side of the world.
Ms. T. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It sort of brings to mind the Tasmania when it had the big bushfire down there in the 60s or whenever it was, in the 70s. And
67.
And the Americans heard about that Tasmania was on fire. And they sent a submarine to evacuate the people in Tasmania from the island. It was just hilarious. This American submarine getting into Hobart and going, oh, my God, it's a bit bigger than we thought. But that's a story from the 67 fires in Tassie.
Yeah, well, I was only 2 weeks old, so I don't remember it. But my mum had me and my sister, who's only 16 months older than me, and our house was surrounded by fire. She had to drive through fire.
Scary stuff.
To get us out, and she was so scared her milk dried up. So I was a formula baby. I wasn't breastfed.
Yeah.
Might explain something.
Bushfire in Australia is nasty. In Tassie, because your forests are so thick and so dense. You get a fire going in there, nothing stopping that. A lot of people
died. A lot of houses and properties, buildings burnt down. It was hideous. Mel, thank you. Mel's dropped my PayPal, and I'm more than happy to forward anything that I get onto Tamara. I just need to contact her to find out the best way to get it to her PayPal. But yeah, if you do donate anything to me, I will make sure it gets to Tamara and her family. And if she does get back to me in the meantime and I can put something up on my community page or whatever, I will. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because
thank you again, Vivian, for coming up. So good to have you up here. That was fun. And thanks to Gregory Mauler. I changed your name to Mauler about an hour ago, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm so used to it.
And Aussie Trisha doesn't have PayPal. Well, the problem is, Trisha, if you pay any other way, like through YouTube or whatever, it's going to take a chunk. So give me a bit of time, and on the weekend we'll be able to chat a bit more about what we can do. Even if it's a direct transfer or something, Aussie Trisha, again, I'm happy to help out. But we'll see if Tamara can get back to me in the next 24 hours. She may not. She's got a shitload going on. But any money that comes in, I'll keep a tally and let you guys know how we're going with fundraising for Tamara and her family. And work out how to get it to her. But she'll probably just give me her bank account details, hopefully, and I can just literally just dump it all in there. Yeah. I'll let you know. We don't have 7-Eleven does cash ups. We don't have 7-Elevens here. I don't even know what a cash up is.
We got 7-Elevens. They're everywhere.
Not in Tassie, we don't. We had one in the mall.
Lucky buggers. No, they're garages here. Only owned by Indians. I didn't say that.
I mean, I'll give you guys I'll just put my email address in here too. Send it to you, Lindley. Thank you, Green Eyes. This is my email address. So if anyone actually wants to flick me an email, I've got I can send you my bank account details and you can dump some cash in there and I'll get it to tomorrow as well. No, we don't have cash apps, but someone said a cash up, whatever that is, at 7-Eleven. Cash ups. Don't know what that is, but there you go. Thank you so much for keeping us updated and the geography lesson. Anytime, Epic Crane. Well, I'm glad that you're safe and dry, Greg. I suspect you'll be everyone else pitching in with the cleanup.
That's a coming. But
yeah,
as I say, at the moment, the councils are, doing emergency cleanups, but everything else, they're just going, when it stops.
Well, I mean, it's even interesting just listening to like the people that have got little tinnies or dinghies, for those of you who don't know that Aussies call dinghies tinnies, that are just going out and helping. But it was interesting listening to one guy because the interviewer said, how do you prioritize who you get to? Because he said there were just so many people yelling. Yeah. And he's like, well, you just have to go. The people on the roofs are on the roof, so they're safe. It's the people that are yelling out of windows as the water levels are rising we've got to get to first. And
that's it.
So, it's always the most urgent thing first, and everything else will just sort of come with time.
But it was an amazing event. 24 inches of rain in 48 hours. It was phenomenal. After weeks of rain, so the ground was totally saturated. And that water had nowhere to go.
No. And meters high in some places. Just unbelievable. Well, thanks for joining me, Greg.
No worries. Thanks for having us up. I just thought I'd pop in and say good day.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you up. It's good I think it was nice just to all have a bit of a chat and throw some support out to the people in chat who need it. And it was great having people here from around the world who are sending out love and prayers as well, like Scouties. It's New South Wales now too, Scout, unfortunately. It's
Yep.
Oh, Miss Kay's sent a cash app from here. I mean, you can transfer, but we don't have a 7-Eleven. So I think Tamara and I will just chat and I'll just transfer it to her bank account. Will be the easiest thing to do. And anything that comes in, thank you so much. And just kind of watch his channel for the next 24, 48 hours and we'll rally around beautiful Tamara and her family. But it's a school night for me, so I'm going to head off. And
I'm going to run away too. It's getting latish.
It is getting latish. And thanks, Miss Kay. And obviously, you know, we're not expecting people to donate, but those of you who can, it's much appreciated. But see you, Greg. He prematurely evacuated. Over 36 inches. It's full on, guys. And look, the rest of the country and the world, in fact, you know, is watching on in horror and just hoping that this stops sooner rather than later and that everyone is able to rebuild and recover. It's just heartbreaking. And yeah, people who say there's no such thing as climate change, you really just have to look at what's been happening, not just here, but, you know, around the world in the last few years. Like, any natural disaster just seems to be a gazillion times more powerful and more destructive than before. So we'll look after Tamara. I will also flick her my mobile number and ask her to give me a call tomorrow and sort some stuff out with her. Thank you for the donation to PayPal. And yeah, just watch this space because, yeah, exactly, Melma. Like, I know exactly we do need to take care of our own, and we've got a beautiful YouTube family, and we've got people in our YouTube family who really need help right now. So, and not just help, but also love and support. They're going to be needing a lot of that for the next few months as well, just to recover from this. And even the people that haven't been directly impacted by the floods, they've got friends and family around them who have. Like, it's going to affect a lot of people. So get on your second story, you'll see climate change. Much love to everyone in Queensland, New South Wales, and anyone around the world at the moment. Ukraine, people that are still fighting COVID and losing friends and family to COVID. It's a challenging planet, but we've always got each other, and we will get through everything together. I love you too, Mel. I love all of you, mofos. And I started with this song because it, for some reason, has always been a song that makes me think of Australia. It's not typically regarded as an Australian anthem, but for some reason it's always been a song that resonates with me as an Aussie, being an Aussie band. But it's also a song that I was about to share my own screen again because that's how clever I am. But it's also a song that I play when, for some reason, when I love 1927, when I just feel helpless and I just wish that I could make things better for people. And weirdly, or quite coincidentally, when I started my live, Tamara, who we're going to be helping out, said, no way, I only played this about an hour ago. So it seems very appropriate to end the show with 1927's If I Could. You guys are amazing. I love our community, and good things can happen on YouTube. We're living proof of that. Until next time, I love you, everyone, and stay safe, everybody.
If I could paint, I'd paint a portrait of you. Sunlight in your eyes, masterpiece of dreams. And sing to you like a silent prayer that's shining so much brighter than a diamond ever did. If I could do anything at all, I'd do it for you. If I could wait, I'd write a book for you. Tailoring treasures where I owe you. A million words couldn't say everything that won't be said in three words where love's the central theme. If I could do anything at all, I'd do it for you.
Good night, everyone. See you again really soon. Much love. It's another 1927 classic. Take care, everyone.